All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Daniela, and I'm the marketing manager for FlightPath. We're a digital marketing agency based in New York with extensive experience working with CPG brands, and I'll be accompanied by my colleague.
Hi, my name is Seth Bronstein. I'm a senior account supervisor at FlightPath with over 15 years of digital experience with CPG brands.
All right, thank you. So let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll cover the current state of CPG brand loyalty and customer loyalty. And we'll also go over brand loyalty and how to maximize it with digital marketing, along with some tactics your brand can implement to improve brand loyalty. And lastly, we will have a brief Q&A session so we can answer any of your questions that you may have throughout the duration of this webinar. So we encourage you to actively participate and ask away. So I'd like to begin by diving into what the current state of CPG loyalty is looking like so far in 2023. So first off, how is brand loyalty currently defined by customers? What this customer data chart shows is that most CPG customers show loyalty by repurchasing from the same brand, and close to 50% define being loyal by considering a brand as a favorite. And despite there being a smaller percentage of customers willing to pay a premium over cheaper alternatives, we're seeing that there still exists 40.9% of customers that admit that once they're loyal, they are willing to recommend their favorite brands to others. Now let's take a look at the current state of customer loyalty. The following chart shows the percentage of customers that are loyal depending on the industry. So health and beauty, household and pet brands have the highest customer loyalty among national brands. However, we're seeing that inflation is shifting customer loyalty towards private labels over national brands. This shift serves as a red alert for CPG brands that want to engender brand loyalty. So keep in mind that consumers with no brand loyalty tend to make choices based on the following 4 variables, and that's availability, price, quality, and speed. So what is currently driving loyalty? According to a trend study by Marigold, over 70% of consumers value a great product and good customer service. And over 80% of consumers value availability and a range of options. So what does this mean? Brands must focus on the quality of the product, have great customer service, and have popular products available, as well as an array of options. We now know that what the current state of loyalty looks like, and we know how customers are defining brand loyalty, and we know the common factors driving it. And in this chart, we can see how brand messaging is driving CPG loyalty in 2023. So over 80% of consumers are favoring brand messaging that delivers consistent customer experience, rewards for loyalty, transparent data usage, and brand messaging that treats them like an individual. So ultimately, consumers want that VIP treatment, and they really want to see this reflected within a brand's messaging. So how can some of these points be addressed with digital marketing strategies? So first things first, you must consider the first rule of CPG marketing, and that is to know your customers. So this includes demographics, interests, purchase habits, and their pain points and challenges. So there's 3 ways you can do this. And one is by defining a clear persona that aligns with your brand's values, mission, and your target audience. 2 is via data collection and analysis to really leverage user data and enable personalized content delivery over time. And 3 is with periodic polling. So surveying your audience can really help you gain new insights. So what we'll be focusing on today, as it pertains to digital, are these 3 intersecting digital channels. So email, social media, and website, as when used together, really reinforce one another. So Seth will dive deeper into each channel and tactics for brand loyalty.
Thanks, Daniela. So first I'll dive into website. And we'll be covering what we feel are 4 important topics when it comes to building brand loyalty within the website experience. And those are really showcasing a streamlined design, which encourages browsability to increase longer times on site and hopefully return visits, as well as showcasing new content by developing a unique content calendar that changes and adapts to customer preferences and trends. Thirdly, we'll talk about displaying ratings and reviews to provide transparency and authenticity. And finally, including a hub for customer service to respond to issues and concerns quickly and efficiently. So when it comes to design, a credible website builds trust and loyalty, while poor design creates slower loading times and a bad user experience. And some high level stats as it relates to website experience, you'll see it takes less than 50 milliseconds for a visitor to decide if they like a website. 94% of users will leave a website simply because of a low quality design. 75% of a website's credibility is based on its design, and 88% of shoppers are unlikely to return to a site after having a poor user experience. So when you're ready to reevaluate your website design and get started, we really believe in utilizing feedback surveys and testing. And that really entails A/B testing, where you compare different variations of design, such as layouts, colors, call to action buttons, to determine which version performs better in terms of engagement, conversion rates, and overall satisfaction. We also use user testing, which is a process of evaluating functionality of a website by observing behaviors and actions as they are asked to complete specific tasks. And for those two both, you don't really need a working website. You can actually also use prototypes. So that's another option if you're starting out with a blank slate. And finally, we like soliciting feedback from users through surveys, as it provides qualitative insights, helping you understand their impressions, pain points, and suggestions for improvement. So when you're ready to start optimizing your site design, keep in mind to develop a mobile-first approach. Some stats here: people spend on average about 4.5 hours a day on their mobile devices. And we see 62% on average of website visits come from mobile devices. And some brands that I work on, we even see that number even higher, where it's like 90% mobile, 10% desktop. So when you're starting a design or a redesign, make sure to evaluate previous analytics to understand the level of effort that you're putting in versus desktop and mobile. And it goes without saying, but search engines prioritize mobile-friendly websites in their search results. And just consider it an opportunity to personalize your content based on behavior and device. So for example, we've seen with some brands that people research recipes at home on desktop, while when they're in store, they're obviously on their phone, but they're looking at products. So just keep in mind of the behavior that's going on when they're on the specific device. So while it may be important to prioritize content on one device over another, just keep in mind that content should be available in all places, but it doesn't have to be one-to-one display. For instance, you can hide recipe subdescriptions on mobile to have a better experience in browsability. So once you have your optimized design locked in, how do you get users to continue returning to the site? We believe that highly relies on developing a seasonal content calendar that's refreshed frequently. So with CPG brands, we can see that focusing on seasonal recipes, that can be an easy out, right? And tie that into your product offerings and availability. Just make sure you're delivering the right content to the right audience. Includes compelling storytelling, provide educational and informational content, and make sure you stay on top of trends. For an example, the top 3 of the top 10 recipes last year on Google Trends were the Jennifer Aniston salad, the Bella Hadid sandwich, and the spaghetti recipe from the Bear TV show on FX. So it's important to stay on top of trends. And as you're refreshing content on your website, definitely helps SEO. And you can also use this to market your content as exclusive to drive subscriptions on your social media and email channels. And whether your budget is really high or really low, leveraging user-generated content is a great way to kind of add to that mix. And in addition to providing great content offering, we feel that displaying authentic ratings and reviews increases brand loyalty for a number of reasons. First, it offers social proof that builds confidence in your products. It also displays transparency and authenticity when you display positive and negative reviews. So it really just shows that you're being transparent with your offerings. When a user is at that decision point where they don't know if they're going to purchase or not, positive reviews definitely lead them and sway them in the direction of purchase. And then finally, it provides that feedback loop where you can get feedback on your products, make changes, and then let customers know that you're taking into account their insights. And then finally, when it comes to website optimizations, setting up a good customer support hub is a great way to get ahead of any kind of complaints or frustrations customers are having with your product, or even the website experience itself. Some examples of setting up would be like setting up a chatbot on the site for quick answers, a FAQ section, or even just a customer service form that forwards to the correct department. And this leads to a reduction in support costs. It's a way to obviously resolve problems promptly and effectively. And it empowers customers through open communication. So jumping into email and some high-level stats on why emails are important. Email has been around forever, and then some people kind of think like, is it out of date or is it not? But really, it's here to stay. 99% of consumers check their email every day, and it's by far the preferred way to receive updates from brands. In 2023, 37% of brands are increasing their email budget, and 77% of marketers have seen an increase in email engagement over the last 12 months. And you'll see on the left-hand side, in terms of frequency, 33% of people are sending, brands are sending emails weekly, with 26% even sending multiple times a month. So how can email marketing bring brand loyalty? It's a great cost-effective way to stay top of mind and promote your newly developed content. It's also a way to automate communications while still being able to make them feel personal based on where the customer is in their journey. You also make sure your user base feels special by offering exclusive and sneak peeks. And finally, it's a great resource for polling and data collection to improve your overall product offer. So we really see that email is a great way to amplify our social media and web content offerings. And we recommend aligning with that overall content calendar to reinforce your messaging. It also serves as an opportunity to cross-promote and cross-pollinate platforms. Just keep in mind to be considerate of frequency and timing, and consider factors like audience preferences, time zones, and peak engagement periods. And always test and learn for optimal results. As you can see on the next slide, the thought process of the consumer, over 56% of users think that the brand sends too many messages. But you'll also see on the poll below that many users feel that the messaging isn't tailored to them specifically, whether it's based on purchase history or just general preferences. So it's important to align your communications, that you do everything you can to add that extra layer of personalization when possible. And some great ways to do that would be to set up automated drip campaigns to nurture relationships, depending on where they are in that journey. So some examples of automation triggers could be as simple as getting a welcome email when you sign up, a follow-up email for a review or just a confirmation after purchasing an order. We do surprise and delights, wishing people a happy birthday and sending a coupon. Obviously, shopping cart abandonment could be a re-engagement, as well as just generally not placing an order for a while. So those are ways to trigger automated personal responses. So as I mentioned earlier, branding your email program as an exclusive club with early access to information is a great loyalty builder. It rewards their loyalty and reinforces their decision to engage with your brand. And when thinking about offers with your loyal subscribers, of course, free shipping and discounts are high on the list, but right behind that are giveaways, surprise rewards. So that shouldn't be ignored. For one brand, we've created a loyalty score, and we'll reward the top 5 loyals of the month with a free gift. And we've seen that that's been pretty well received. And then finally, for email, including surveys and polls are not only a great way to get feedback and insights on your products, but you can also use that data to personalize your messaging in the future. For example, we recently learned that with one brand, we saw a majority of our audience were avid hikers. So we took those learnings and we developed an entire promotion giveaway around the outdoors, and it performed extremely well. I think we got like 25,000 new signups to our email list. So of course, by listening to your loyal customers and making changes on their feedback, it really shows that you value their input. So jumping into social media, some high-level stats in terms of social media loyalty. 71% of consumers who've had a good social media experience with a brand are likely to recommend it to others. 74% of consumers share video content from brands on social media, and 80% of marketers say their key strategy is to increase engagement across all social channels. So when starting a social channel, just remember to treat it as a community. A community feel encourages engagement, it generates content, and it strengthens loyalty. Also, we know that working with influencers these days is almost a must, as you can tap directly into their existing following. So we discussed web, email, and showcasing that content calendar. It's really paramount on social. But just keep in mind, it doesn't always have to be about the products all the time. Make sure to incorporate lifestyle content as well. When you do feature product content, make sure it's clickable in some form and leads back to your website or store. And of course, promotions work well, especially micro giveaways and contests, as they're a great way to build up your audience at a low cost. And then talking about influencers, when we're thinking about any kind of paid content, influencers are a great way to increase your credibility because they bring their own audience with them. And they can also introduce the product and incorporate it with their current lifestyle and their diets, and show applications for your products. One platform we recommend is Creator IQ in terms of just streamlining that process of reaching out to an influencer, getting the cost, and even generating reports post-campaign. We think that's great. And then one thing to note, just kind of really think about hashtags as niche communities to improve your targeting. And then finally, with the content mix, always consider mission-driven content and social responsibility as well. It's a great way to have an emotional connection and increase loyalty, and establishes thought leadership. And it's a great way to differentiate your brand from your competitors. And then finally, with social, as we all know, a lot of consumers turn to social media as they feel like it's the quickest way to get a response from a brand when they have a complaint. So make sure to be sure to monitor and respond promptly on social when it comes to customer service requests. We like to leverage integrations that sync directly with your customer service team for a quicker response time. So we use Zendesk that actually listens to comments and DMs, and it directs directly to our customer service team. Make sure you personalize your interactions and show empathy, and obviously resolve the issues publicly, quickly, but take sensitive matters offline. And then obviously appreciate positive feedback and share updates. And even if it's not occurring on your channel, use social listening tools for insights to just get, to see what's out there in terms of what's going on with your product that's not on your channel. So to wrap it up, I'm just going to pass it back over to Daniela.
Thanks, Seth. All right, so to wrap up, here are some key takeaways. We discussed how email, social media, and website all kind of work simultaneously together to build brand loyalty. And what we've noticed is the recipe to successfully combining these three digital channels include the following 6 components. So one is establishing consistent content offerings. By maintaining these channels, you can really reinforce your brand's values and create a cohesive brand identity. And 2 is by developing a content calendar that resonates to your audience. Number 3 is with successful cross promotion. This will help drive traffic with social media and email marketing to your website, creating a cycle where each channel supports and strengthens the others. Number 4 is with correct personalization. Take data from these channels and personalize your messaging and content to better speak to your audience. 5 is by managing and staying up to date with consumer or customer feedback while also leveraging customer service to really engage in a two-way conversation with your audience. And lastly, number 6 is by generating content that creates a sense of community. Loyal customers that interact and engage with each other on any of your channels will really foster a sense of belonging. And that about wraps up our webinar. Thank you all for joining us today. Before we conclude, we want to provide an opportunity to answer any questions you may have. So we'll just check. Let's see. You have a few minutes. So there's one question. I think Seth can help us with this. It's, would you like to read that, Seth? All right. Can you share any advanced measurement and analytic techniques that can provide deeper insights into the effectiveness of our digital marketing efforts for driving brand loyalty?
Yeah, so I guess in the example that we were talking about with surprise and delight, so we use ActiveCampaign as our CRM. And basically what we did was we set up some automations which reward loyalty points. So if someone opens an email or they click on a link or they go to our website, we reward them certain points that expire in certain times. So at the end of the month, we'll sort those scores from top lowest to highest or highest to lowest, and we'll just reward, our top 5 users with some swag. So, but yeah, we use ActiveCampaign, and that's kind of how we do our lead scoring.
Awesome, thanks, Seth. There's another one, and this is relating to technology. So are there any emerging technologies or platforms that we should use to explore and enhance brand loyalty?
So just kind of thinking so this is like a personal experience, but we kind of have the mindset of, your friends have the same mindset as you. And so if you're a loyal brand enthusiast, your friends probably have the same lifestyle and would too. We've been working with SparkLoop, which has a loyalty program which incentivizes people to, invite their friends to your mailing list, and you can give rewards at a certain threshold. We're trying to get it at like $1 per acquisition, based on the rewards that we're giving away. And the verdict's still out, but we like the platform. It's a good platform.
Awesome, thank you. Just one moment here. So there is another question, and it's just relating to the webinar being recorded. Yes, we're recording this webinar. We'll send out an email with a link to view the recording, as well as the deck. So you'll be getting this in your email. All right, so I guess that concludes our webinar. Thanks for joining. And like I mentioned before, you'll be getting an email with the deck and the live recording. So thank you.